Blood Debt by M.K. Murphy. Chapter 1. February. Deptford Waters. A sparrow hop from Canary Wharf and just 30 minutes overground to central London, if you can believe the sales hype. The brand new arty tower block reflects the setting sun in gold and blue and peach. The townhouses and dinky retirement bungalows remain empty for one final night. But the last-minute finishing touches are done, and they're ready for release to the first lucky owners. In the dying rays of the sun, the development seems almost to glow with pride, and even a brief shower seems calculated to add extra shine to the scene. Everyone has gone, save the developer, full of excitement and nerves for the next day when councillors, planning officers, academics and experts on the built environment will descend to admire his work and share their thoughts with press and media. Too early for a first pass from the security firm, too dark for further sweeping and primping, the development quietly waits. Only the developer's fire-red BMW remains, parked in front of the show house, and a dark Ford Transit van in one of the more distant bays. The sudden grind of a motor disturbs the picture of serenity. Nothing to cause concern, only a landscaper's van, the foreman, no doubt, coming to make a final inspection of the work. He parks in front of the show house, easing himself slowly onto the tarmac, his head bent, watching his step, waxed jacket on top of his overalls, his battered broad-brim hat still wet from the recent shower. He limps around the back of the van to retrieve a rake, then makes his way to the side gate. The landscaper continues his slow shuffle around to the back of the house. The garden has been laid to gravel and decking, softened with perennial borders. The first snowdrops are already peeking through a mulch of bark. The security light comes on, and he dips his head, holding his hand up as if to protect his eyes from the glare. The patio doors stand open. Odd, given the coolness of the night. The room is unlit, but the floodlight illuminates a sheen of water on the tiled floor, so the doors must have been left open and unattended for 10 or 15 minutes. The man straightens up, shedding a good 25 years in the process. Shaking off arthritis with miraculous ease, he returns down the side passage and quietly leans the rake against the gate. It won't stop anyone, but it will warn him of their arrival. Returning to the open patio doors, his limp vanished, and the last remnants of his landscaper persona discarded, he steps lightly into the house. A whimper. The man moves away from the glass doors, aware that while he's visible, he's vulnerable. Standing with his back to the outer wall, he waits for his eyes to adjust to the level of light and listens. There, again, a faint whimper. The man is standing in a kitchen diner, open plan but compact, no chance of anyone hiding in any corners. There are boot prints leading across the tiles into the hallway. A glimmer seeps through the open kitchen door. The lights must be on in one of the other rooms. He unholsters his gun and, taking a suppressor from his jacket pocket, screws it in place, then flicks off the safety. The hallway is clear. He glances up the stairwell, pistol ready, then glides soundlessly to the front room. Doorless to increase the sense of space, this is where the light is coming from. It's empty. More boot prints muddy the carpet, and a lamp has been knocked over. Returning to the stairs, he begins the climb, aware of muffled sobs. An oblong of light shows through an open door at the far end of the landing. Tiled floor, so probably the bathroom. This is the source of the sound, too, he realizes. The threat from a whimpering individual is almost certainly less significant than the possibility of someone lying in wait in one of the darkened bedrooms, so he continues methodically checking each room. Room 1 is clear. On to the second. Crouching low, he sweeps left, right, above. The wood-framed bed has linen spilling over the sides to floor level. He moves fast, lifts the bedding, finds nothing. Back onto the landing, he heads towards the distressed sounds. This is where it could get interesting. There are clear signs that someone had come into the house uninvited ahead of him. The question is, are the frightened whimpers a reaction after the fact, or are the interlopers still on the premises, perhaps waiting behind the bathroom door? He slams the door open, hears a stifled shriek as the wood bounces off the bathroom. Steadying it with one gloved hand, he swivels to check the bath. A man is bound with zip ties to the taps, tears coursing down his face. Seeing the gun, he shrieks again, shaking his head wildly, begging through the tape covering the lower half of his face. It looks like the property developer, but he needs to be certain. "My God, what happened?" the man says. Confusion is mingled with fear on the developer's face now. He tugs at the taps, his eyes bulging, mumbling through the gag, "Hey, it's okay." The armed man raises both hands, gently placing the gun down on the floor. "Here, let me." He peels the gag away, taking a few layers of skin with it, and eliciting another shriek from the property developer. "Yes, it is Jason Florin." "What happened?" he asks again, his voice loaded with concern. "Who did this to you?" "Oh, thank God, thank God. I thought they were going to kill me. They? Who are they?" I don't know. They made me..." He breaks down, sobbing. "Look at me," the man says, and the authority in his tone has its effect. "I can help you, but you need to calm down." "Oh, God," Florin wails, his eyes wild. "You're police, aren't you?" The man's overalls don't exactly shout police, but Florin is traumatized and his judgment impaired, so his confusion is understandable. This is Sam Turner, a man so far outside the law that the question is almost laughable. But he keeps a straight face and lets Florin make up his own mind. "Fuck," Florin groans, tears still running down his face. "You're going to arrest me, aren't you?" "Not necessarily," Sam says kindly. "Tell me everything that happened and maybe we can work something out." Hope blossoms in the property developer's eyes. "I have money. I can pay you a lot." "Please, Jason, don't insult me," Sam says. "I've been paid. I don't want your money." Stricken, Florin stammers. "I'm sorry. I thought you..." "Just be honest and leave it to me to decide. But be warned. I will know if you're lying." Sam doesn't really need to hear the details of Florin's ordeal. He'll do what he was paid to do, no matter what he hears. But his curiosity has been piqued, and he's irritated that whoever was here before him has created an untidy scene. He would like to know why. "Okay, but just get these ties off me, okay?" Sam shakes his head, eyeing the zip ties binding Florin. "I feel safer this way." Perhaps Florin has forgotten that his potential rescuer was carrying a gun when he came into the room. Anyway, he doesn't mention it. Okay, I'll tell you," he says. Sam listens for several minutes with increasing wonder. If he hadn't found the man in this position, he might have thought the entire story a fantasy. As Florin finishes, Sam hears a distant police siren and feels the first real pang of concern. "They said they'd send police." The property developer nods shakily. "I thought it was a trick, but then you came and you said you'd listen." He laughs, tears springing again to his eyes. "I swear I never thought I'd be happy to see the police." "You thought I was police?" You said." Sam shakes his head. "No, Jason, I didn't." "You're not police?" "Far from it." "Well, look, they'll be here any second. Get me out of here and we'll talk," Florin says, avoiding a second insulting offer of money, but still negotiating like a true businessman. "I think I've heard all I need to hear." Sam stoops and picks up his gun from the floor, shoots Florin twice, once in the chest and once in the head. He checks for a pulse and, finding none, takes a few photographs to confirm death. Sending confirmation to his client will have to wait. The sirens are close. He slips out through the kitchen. Red and blue lights strobe at the front of the house. The van is of no use to him now, so he runs to the end of the small garden, leaping to grip the top of the fence. The drop on the other side is a good 15 feet, so he swings over, dropping the last few and landing softly on the earthen pathway of the canal towpath. Treading quietly, light on his feet, he vanishes into the dark like an urban fox.